technical difficulties, but we're getting it figured out. Bring my tablet up so I can see if anyone is messaging. Okay. Swipe up to unlock. I got it. Alright. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so. Alright. There we go. Had to mute the sound, but I can see the chat now. So that's cool. You guys don't mind if I eat something real quick, do you? Tried to hurry, but everywhere we went was being slow as frozen molasses. So never got a chance to really eat nothing. We got that 4 mile, what is it, 4 mile pig or whatever, pulled pork. Delicious. Maybe give folks a little bit if they want to join in. I'm actually not expecting a gigantic turnout tonight. So I figured Sunday night, man, people's got stuff they want to do probably, or getting ready for Monday morning. And that's cool. But yeah. I see we got a couple in there. How you guys doing? Don't mind me over here stuffing my face. I don't even know why they try with this. There's no way you can pick this sandwich up and eat it. It's so good. I mean, it's just really good. I don't know what they put in the. I don't know what they put in the damn barbecue sauce, but wow, it's really good. And our order was really small. I don't know why it took so long. Just dawned on me I need to go and take that graphic off that says "Be on in a few." I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about the background noise. I have 6 really spoiled ass baby ducks that I call the dinkies. And the dinkies think that every time I'm out here, it's because I'm taking them swimming. So every time I walk past them, you will hear them freak the stuff out. The turkey bacon Havarti is the best with their blackberry barbecue sauce and the best fries. Oh, yeah. Thorhaven, what's up? Gonna listen and watch through dinner. Highland steak tonight. Oh, you lucky man. Tim, what's up? Sorry, I'm right next to the camera, so I'm probably shouting. Yeah, so I got this going on here. This is my dinner table right now. Because I realized when I was trying to get food and get everything done that I was running really behind. So I'm like, well, let's just grab something and go, And then she was like, are you just going to eat your food on stream? And I'm like, well, people do stranger shit on stream. But I love this place. It's wonderful. 4 Mile Pig. I'm going to be talking them up big time till the indigestion sets in. Then I'll be cursing them. That's not true. They're really good fries too. It's like a seasoning. Like, I don't know what their seasoning is, but it's really good. But if you can pick up their sandwich and eat it like a sandwich, you're a better man than me. I can't do it without spilling food everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, talked to Barker, who won the knife the other night. And he picked out a wood. So tonight is all about getting that handle seated onto this knife. And then I'm going to be bouncing back and forth because I have a leather sheath to do on another winning knife and some polishing to do on yet another winning knife. So the loaded fries are crack. I have not tried the loaded fries yet, but I believe you. If it's any indicator, just having these, then my God, they must be amazing. I don't know, maybe I should be setting these lives for like another hour later. Like 6 p.m. I don't know. Give myself some time to eat, and that way I'm not on a live stream eating in front of everybody. Very good stuff, though. Really, really good stuff. Like, I don't even know. I bet they don't even know they're on a live stream being advertised for right now. Freaking amazing. So good. Just so good. We were literally on our way home. Went fishing with Mr. Terry there. Had some fun. Had some laughs. Didn't really catch nothing, but we caught some sun. Enjoyed our time out there. if you're just tuning in, forgive me. I am stuffing my face because I'm starving. And I got hung up at 2 different stores on my way here. Both stores were like slowed to a stop, so. Some wonderful barbecue. Alright, well, feel like I'm pretty good here. So I'm going to save the rest for later. And let's get some work done. How about it? I still got some stuff in there I can munch on tonight. That'll be nice. I'll be right back. Silence ducks. Alright. Alright, so red heart. There it is. This is what me and Mr. Barker agreed on. Oh, thank you, huh? Thank you, my love. So, this is it. It's going to be, we're going to go red heart handle. And once I get these seated right, then we'll go back and we'll do the rest of the spine work right before I glue these on. So, I think this is going to look awesome. Let me show you what it looks like once the oil hits it. Check this out. So, this has been sitting around. It's got some dust on it. But let me add some of this here. Polish and wax. Not too much because it just gunks up the sanding belts. But look at that. So you can see how that's going to shine up. And we'll be doing quite a bit of hand sanding to it just to polish it up. But I'm trying not to make it boring for you guys. But the first thing to do is we got to get some holes drilled in this handle. And then get this handle perfectly flat so that it's seated. I hope you guys can see it very good. I moved the camera, but I can't tell Like, my feed is not caught up yet, so I don't know where we're at. I feel like I need to refresh this thing. Oh, there we go. So yeah. So step one, get this handle drilled. For that, I got to move some stuff. So I got to move this stove somehow. I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't hit it. Alright. So, to make room, I kind of pushed my grill back in this corner before, and I put the wood burning stove in front of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. You probably can't. So I'm going to bring my grill out. We don't need the oscillating sander yet. We won't need that till almost the end. So, yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, I might be able to leave this because I can actually reach it just fine. Let's move this. If I have any slack here. I have a little bit. I'm afraid I'm pulling stuff apart in there, but I think I'm good. Alright, so problem I had was this cable didn't reach my power supply. But with a quick trip to Tractor Supply, we're going to fix that right now. By the way, really want to thank you guys for all of the feedback on the video from Saturday. I really did not expect such a huge show of support on that. I thought for sure everybody was going to think I was just blabbering on, which I tend to do sometimes. Alright, let's see what we got. Do we got power? We got power. Now let's plan out the knife. So, you're going to be moving around quite a bit with me since I only have one camera, but not to worry, I will be adding more as we go on. So, here's what we got. We definitely got the size we need for sure. And this is a nice long handle, so there's plenty of room. I know a lot of them guys out there, you guys got big hands like me, so I tend to make all my knives with a big handle. So, see the high-tech profiling apparatus, or pen. There's that. Now we know that that's going on the left side of the knife. So, there we go. Left. Right side of the knife. We're going to do the same thing. It feels like it's got a little bit of a bow this way, so I might actually have to grind this side flat. So if I have to do that, no big deal. It'll only take me a minute, but I like forging them perfectly flat because I don't like grinding that much. And if I'm gonna grind, I like to have a well thought out battle plan for what I'm going to be doing. So there we go, right side. The one thing I will say though, as I've noticed, is if I've been able to forge the tang of the knife pretty flat, it leaves, you know, some pitting, some scales, some hammer markings, and I've actually found that the epoxy sticks to that really, really well. So that will help. The knife is not sharpened yet either. It's got a point, but it's not sharpened because if the drill grabs it and starts spinning it, I don't want it to turn into a lawnmower of fingers. Beautiful wood. Thank you, Terry. Yep. Red Heart is gorgeous stuff. I think he's really going to like this when it's finished. And the forged look with the Red Heart is awesome. So I'm going to do some drilling and I'll show you. I'm going to mark where I want these at. Alright. Let's get it on. You can tell I already had this adjusted for knife handle drilling, so I haven't touched this in months, so that's, you know, creature of habit. Always drill at my slowest speed, so I don't overheat nothing. I don't want to kill the drill bit. I don't want to form a work hardening either where I drill. That could be a pain in the ass, and I don't want to deal with it, so I'm not into it, you know what I mean? Appears that my shutter is slipping. Oh yeah, wow, that was really loose. Go all the way through until I get into the wood block. It gives me a cleaner drill, so that's something I don't have to go back in and clean up later. I will be countersinking these so that it'll create a little reservoir where more epoxy will actually fill that reservoir and help with a better bond. Normally, if you were going to countersink, you'd want to rivet the pins in. But I have found that when working with a wood like Red Heart, you have to be really careful riveting, because you'll end up cracking your wood. That's just, again, you know, I'm not into it. And we lost our bit again. So we can definitely tell that this one is worn out. Let's go ahead and get this back in here. Let's see what we got going on. There we go. I haven't used some of these in months. These middle holes are going to be our pilot holes for a bigger drill bit. I'm going to go ahead and take out a lot of steel in between to get the weight down. Sure I get these centered. some of them aren't going to be seen, but the ones that are seen, I want them to be nice and straight. You can see we got pretty straight. Now I'm going to grab a bigger bit and clear out these two and try to cut some more weight down. I'm not going to go too crazy, because if I go too crazy, it'll be pretty noticeable. I want the handle to be knife, or I want it to be nice and balanced. I don't need it to be like a feather, you know. Because when you forge it, there's still quite a bit of meat there, and I want to go ahead and just take this down a little bit. So that's why it just makes it a little bit easier. So let's take this down, since we're going to be putting in quite a bigger bit. It's a Harbor Freight General Machinery floor press. If you're wondering why it's so wobbly. It is not bolted down either. It should be. But now that I'm out here at the farm full time, maybe I can actually drill and bolt this down. That would be outstanding. Make things a lot easier. So now that we got that, we're going to go in and bore out these holes, make it a little lighter. And then we're going to play white knuckle while we try not to crack the wood and drill those out. Again, I'm drilling the slowest speed I got. I'm not trying to win a race, you know. You wouldn't think it, but drilling in the carbon steel builds up a lot of heat fast. So you can see what we got starting to cut through. I'm going to go in from the other side so I can try to ease this. This takes a few stabs to get it down. You can see it kind of messes up towards the end, but I usually don't worry about that too much because I'm going to grind it anyway, so it's going to clean it up. Like I said, I'm just trying to get some weight down. There's a couple knives, like that big one I forged on the screen. It's going to take a lot of drilling to get the weight off of that, but for how big it is, it should be light as a feather when I'm done. And I love that too, because when somebody picks them up, they expect them to be, this big boat anchor, and it's just not the case. You pick it up and it's light as a feather, almost scary, Alright, got through that one easy. Not this one though. Alright, already tell the difference. A lot of weight came off of that. So I'm going to clean this up real quick and get ready for some gluing. I don't know, I don't think this is as exciting as the blacksmithing, but this is part of it. Yeah. I wish I could forge them all the way to polished out. That'd be awesome. Let me show you guys this. Some folks here are going to recognize this, but it's your big grinding wheel for your hollow grinds and whatnot. But for flat, you have to use a platen or platen, depending on where you're from. So you can see that once I flip this, I got a flat backing to grind against, and that's going to help me get a really, really flat handle profile. Sometimes it takes a while, but this also builds up a tremendous amount of heat from use. So I'm going to try to be careful, because I have burnt myself more on this than I ever have in the forge. And a lot of people are surprised by that. But this is D2 tool steel, and it laughs at heat. So I'm going to get closer here with this so you guys can see a little bit better. I hope. Let's see. I got a little light here that might show. Hopefully we don't sling our belt off. Alright, there we go. Let me show you my trick. Magnet, handle. So that solves that problem. So now we know our handles will sit nice and neat. The next step is more of a scary part. We have to drill through this and into this wood without hurting the wood. So that is the fun part. Let's go ahead and dry this guy off. Alright. So for this, you really need some tape. I thought I had some here, but apparently do not. So I am going to be going the other route, which is a lot scarier. I will show you what I mean in just a moment. So, real quick, I'm cutting some pins. It's going to be loud. What I mean in a second here. Oh, I totally lost the pin. There it is. Alright. Man, I just watched the Mortal Kombat movie. I really want to forge Scorpion spear. What do you guys think? I think it'd be badass. So here's what I'm gonna do. See, I cut me a couple pins here, and I'm gonna put these in like so. I'm gonna try to pull this off. This doesn't always work, but sometimes you get a hole right where you need it. So let me drill that real quick, and let's see if we can get this mounted. Turned out okay. No cracking, no nothing like that. So now we test the fit real quick. Wrong pin. And awesome. Look at that seat right there. That's what you want. So I'm going to do the same thing up here. And I'm going to use my little bronze hammer here copper. Well, it's technically a copper or brass hammer. Feels more like copper. It's a lot softer than brass. I got that from my dad. And I'm going to drill that one. This is why I can't wait to add some more cameras, so I don't have to keep moving this and making y'all seasick. I think it'll be awesome. Alright, so you can see we got a perfect seat on that, which is what we wanted. Now that these are seated, I'm going to drill that third hole, so I'll be right back. So there we go. One side seated. It's really nice and flat. I'm really happy with that. So let's pull these back out and do the other side. And you can see, there we go. That side's done. You can do the same thing for the other side. Get it lined up best we can. Close to where I scribed it, and then I use the pin itself as kind of a marking point. Lets me know where I need to do that first hole. Now, some other people, I mean, there's other makers that don't do it this way. There's good reason. But they're not here, so, and I am. Alright, there we go. Let's do the same thing up front here. I just have a feeling this is going to turn out really nice. I feel like it's gonna really pop. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. We want it to really stand out and look great. There we go. You can't do this with all woods. Try to do that with a piece of oak, that pin will bend. Alright. That side is done, so next is what I consider kind of a cheap move. I'm going to go ahead and mount this up, and then I'm going to drill straight through it and get that center hole. There we go. Everybody seated good. Alright. So now we are completely drilled on both handles. Let's get these pins out of here. So the next step is shaping the front of this handle. So we don't want it to be just a straight up and down cut. Not when we have, you know, all this stuff we can do. And I am roughing up the inside of the pins by using pliers. I'm doing that on purpose so that I can create more grooves for more epoxy to stick to. So I'm going right back in with this, except for this time we're going all the way through it and into the other one. You can see how it went all the way through. And this is the part where you learn a lot about your knife. You'll learn a lot about your handles here, because if your handles aren't correct, nothing is going to line up. And you also don't want to deform. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the front here and round this out so that when it sits on the knife, it almost looks like it's floating there. So that'll be pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and black out everything I don't want on the handles. Just like this. Kind of gives you a visual, you know. I'm going to get these as close as I can before mounting them and gluing them. That way when I go to do the final stuff, I don't have to use a really abrasive sandpaper. Okay, so you're going to see that come together just like that. Alright, let's get this going. So next step, let's get these guys back out. And I got some epoxy here somewhere. I'm gonna have to dig that up. And we're back to our first pieces of wood again, but now let me lay one on here real quick so you can see it. It's gonna look a lot more like a knife handle. How's that? Pretty cool, huh? It's cool. It's a good fit. good fit. Yeah, you guys are good, man. Do your stuff. Don't even worry about it. I am having a blast. I'm just trucking right along here. The way I see it is, either you guys are so engrossed because you're having so much fun here, or I've put you to sleep and you left it on. That's equally as good. Don't even sweat it. We are having fun. It's giving me an excuse to get back in my shop and get some stuff made. Something I do like to do here, though, is, let me show you this. If I have it, I don't know. Oh dear.
On your face too. Camera.
Working on stuff. That's why I was saying before, is like we'll get to it once I add more cameras, but for now, you know. This is all about the making of the knife. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of black paint. Not much. Okay, apparently it's going to be a bunch. Jesus, look at that. Anyway, so if I can get this to do this, and keep adding black pigment to it. Let me shake this up. There we go. So I'm going to keep adding black pigment to the glue, and it's turning gray, but let's try to get it darker. You know, it looks like gray is going to be about as good as we get out of this. Wow. And we're going to go ahead and paint this on. Especially around the edges here. I don't know, this paint seemed like it thinned out this glue. Let's add a little bit more. I want to make sure that this thing gets seated right. There we go. Alright. Let's get these guys in. Let's get that first handle scale on there. I'm trying to be very careful with this because I do not want to cause any cracking or problems. So I will press this one on. And I'll show you how it's seated. It's seated really, really well. It's awesome. So this little opening is actually turning out to be really handy for this. So I'm going to tap this in. And let's do the other side. Then we got to get this thing clamped up. And I got to get one more pin made. So let's get this one in. And go ahead and tap these in. Alright, I got one more pin to make, and then this will be clamped. And we probably won't be able to work on it for maybe an hour. But there's other things to be done. Got a few projects to do on this in this workshop. So we definitely shall be working on them. Wow, it went really smoothly. I'm actually a little freaked out right now. Usually this stuff doesn't go this good. It usually means something's gonna go really wrong. Universal pushback. Next step, getting pressure on this. We want plenty of pressure on this. I want this to be a good bond. So you'll see that I use a lot of clamps. Oh, Tony, I understand, man. I totally understand. It's kind of neat. It's reminding me of my old stream. But it is a Sunday, and people are doing other stuff, and I am totally cool with that, man. You know, I kind of looked at it like I was gonna be in here anyway, so you know, if you want to hang out, check out what I'm doing, cool. If not, no big deal. I get it. Yeah. Oops. Got to do some fishing today with my buddy Terry. That was really awesome. Almost got one. Yeah, we're putting lots of pressure on. We want this guy to seat up really nice. You can see it squeezing the epoxy out too. Check it out. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there we have it. That's Andrew Barker's knife right there, gluing up, handle and all. Why am I not using a cutting oil for the bit? Honestly, it's because that bit's at the end of its life and it's not going to be lasting much longer. The cutting oils work really well, but I tend to not use them if the bit is all the way at the end of its life. That bit right there was pretty much dead. I mean, I've resharpened it about 4 times already. But yeah, I mean, I do not. It's not as if I'm saying don't use cutting oils. I definitely agree with cutting oils. But when you if I keep doing this and you see how much I do with the drilling, you'll see that I go through a lot of bits and I kill them left and right. But yeah, at some points though, I've used 3-in-1. I've used I actually really prefer 3-in-1 for a cutting oil. And when I've been desperate before, I've actually used 10W30. And WD-40 works okay if you're in a pinch. I'm probably telling you shit you already know. But there's this stuff I had one time. There was a cutting oil from Harbor Freight. It's like a foam, and I personally hate that shit. It is not a great stuff to use, if I'm being honest. I've actually got a CX leather already cut. I think that'll fit. Yeah, 3-in-1's great, man. It's good stuff. There's my go-to. Works good. Alright, I'm actually cleaning up the leather working table. And I'm moving over to this. I'm going to go ahead and start working on Thor Haven's sheath for their knife that they want. However, this table hasn't been used for months also. And boy, you can sure tell it. So I am doing some cleanup here. I don't know, it looks like some epoxy or something spilled. I'm going to have to put something down that I can work on here. Let me try to find something real quick, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to try to find something I can use to put down. Ain't much luck on that, but we'll make it work. All right. Excuse the mess, it's a work in progress. Try to get a little bit more slack here. for my next trick, I shall be causing a sheath to appear from leather. I'm going to move this down a little bit though, because, well, maybe not. I might actually have a better vantage point here if I kind of do one of those. I'll check it here in a minute. Pretty good, I guess. It's not bad. How's it look? I mean, it looks a little blurry to me, but I can't fully tell. So you can see what we got going on here. So we want the knife to rest stitches out, and this is the hip here. This is the side that goes up against your leg. So I am going to make a mark. That doesn't have any kind of. Oh my God! I don't have a sharpened pencil here anywhere. There's a little mechanical pencil with no lead in it. Awesome. Alright, what we got? There's gotta be something. Alright. So this is the side that goes against your hip, so I'm going to make a little mark. Because it is real easy to get backwards on this. And I'm not even kidding on that. The next step is I want to get a much more flattering form on this. So we're going to be going like this. A little trick you can do actually is take another pencil, or one of these will work good, and just go right up against your geometry, and then just kind of keep doing that. You know, you can just keep checking it, and once you get down to the blade, you pretty much you'll have a pretty good idea of how to round it out. So right there is pretty good. This angle here is a little unorthodox, but I don't think I actually need that much for the top of the welt here. And then what I do is round this off. So it gives me a good idea of how I'm gonna fit this. And this knife is a little beefier, so let's go ahead and take this out. Actually, I used to have a much better tool for doing this, but so Thursday night I'm going to be finishing up the little meat cleaver and then doing a giveaway, so you guys definitely shouldn't miss that one. It's going to be pretty fun. We're going to be getting that bad boy done. Alright. Make sure I'm lined up right here, because if not, this will be all kinds of crooked. Awesome. Alright, marking to the hip. We've got our, okay, looks pretty good. Now we gotta do is clean it up, make it look cool. So let's do that. Alright, so for this I have many tools. Many tools for carving and cutting and generally making a mess as I go. Let's see what the hell happened to my tools here. Just the state of everything is just kind of crazy. It's amazing how things go when you don't do something for a while. You know, you lose all kinds of stuff. I've definitely lost track of quite a bit of tools, and it's my own fault. So it is what it is. All right. Okay, so on the outside of this, let's get that knife back over here. So we can see how it's gonna fit. It's gonna fit really comfortably in here and have lots of room. But that gives us lots of room to tighten it up, not the blade. So I'm going to go around it, and I'm going to move that. And kind of create a little bit of a line. This will give me something I can follow when I'm working on the pattern. And since this is Thorhaven, I feel like we got to do something cool to it. So let's get the tablet and take a look at Thorhaven's page. So I got this little tablet I'm using. Let's see here. I'm going to lose the chat for a minute. Thorhaven. Alright, let's take a look at that design. Let's see, where's it at here? Oh, there's a Facebook page. I bet you they'll have me a big old design on there somewhere. Something I can look at. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's what I got. I'm seeing this right here. I don't know if I can pull that off. I might be able to, but there's not a whole lot of room here, so I might just do the Thor and do a Haven Farm underneath of it. Let's give us some guidelines to work with. Let's try that, and let's make it about, well, I guess let's just call it that. So let's do our first. There's that and that. Let's see if we can't. Of course, it just went into standby mode. circle is going to be tricky, but I haven't done this in a while. A couple years ago, I could have knocked this out pretty quick, but I am rusty. And stand by again. I gotta fix that. Alright, so this looks like the I'm gonna have to fix that and make that a little bit more clear. I like the way the R is. Let's just go across this. Give us a. Just so you guys know, I'm loosely sketching this on here. I'm not doing it justice, but once I start carving it with the leather knife, it will begin to make a lot more sense. Or I'll have screwed it up royally. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping. So I like the way this R is, though. It's pretty cool. So, Thor Haven. Alright, so I mean a basic here. I gotta fix that circle, but I'll probably do it last, since I'll need to find something here that I can get a perfect circle off of. I don't even think that's. I think that's way too big. Yeah, this might have worked. It's pretty small. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Let's do some carving. Our handy dandy swivel knife. So I'm going to do all my downward strokes first. Kind of see what I'm talking about. It starts to make more sense once you see the swivel knife come out. You know, it just works so much better. So I don't have a whole lot of downward strokes on this, so I'm going to work on the horizontals. And on this one, I'm going to go boom and boom. Alright, so next, let's do our horizontals. It's funny, like you go to sketch something and you want to connect your lines, but with the straight knife you really don't want that to happen at all. You would rather not have your lines touch, because it actually causes little problems and things like that. I'm trying to find the chat again so I can talk to you guys. The onesie challenge. I love it. I still gotta do that. I gotta find something. I gotta find a onesie that's gonna bring the thunder. Tim, yeah, I know, man. I'm just getting into it again. I know it's going to be slow going. But I knew that, you know. I hated ever walking away, you know, and closing my doors for a while. I hated it, but, you know, goddamn pandemics. Kinds of shit, you know. Let's see, we're going to go a little bit farther on this one. Okay. These curves are the toughest ones to do. I don't know if you guys can see this or if my head's blocking it, but trying to do a curve with a swivel knife is no fun. It's doable. I know it's gonna be kind of hard to see it, but these curves right here, because you got your swivel and you're trying to make that turn without screwing it up. So this side I was a little thin on, so I'm letting myself go outside of the line and make the turn. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Not too bad. I'm the same way. I used to be able to draw anything I wanted, but I have not done anything in a while. Yeah, man. It's like you lay it down for a minute and you just get all kinds of rust. It sucks. Just making sure I got everything. I know I still got to do the horizontals. Alright. Pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I gotta do my edges here. Let's start at that right there. And just work one big long cut all the way back. Not bad. Not too bad. Oh yeah. I'm doing the same thing over here. Let's just go ahead and flare these. Alright. So next step is get some color on it and let this thing dry. We'll see how it looks once some color is set in. Should start seeing lines are starting to clear up. That's good. I love this stuff, this antiquing. It'll go in and darken all my lines and just kind of brown out the rest. Kind of looks like aged leather, you know. It's really cool. And you just kind of wipe it off and start over. Very cool. Alright. Yeah, I definitely got to get another camera added in here. I feel like for stuff like this, you guys need to see a little bit more up close. So let's show you what I got so far. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Oh, it's pretty wild. You can actually see the you can see the tablet. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, let this dry a bit. .304L stainless steel. You know, I've used a couple different stainlesses. I've used 440C, which I feel is garbage. And there was another one years ago a customer requested specifically, so I can't remember the name of it, but I don't use a whole lot of stainless unless requested. I mean, it's a little bit more challenge to forge it. You know, a little bit more. Well, I can't say challenge to forge it. It's not a whole lot harder than say a 5160, but it's where you start having problems is your heat treating. That's where you start getting into a little difficulty. I mean, some stainless has a bit of a harder time hardening, where you have to go through a specific heat cycle to get it there. 440C is really easy, but I honestly wouldn't recommend it for a forged knife at all. I'd say if you were gonna use a 440, then I'd honestly, I'd go with a semi-stainless. I'd probably go with a tool steel and just oil the knife, you know. I know I've made several knives for cooks out of a lot higher carbon and higher chromoly steels, where we wanted to stay away from the stainless route, and these guys were meticulous for taking care of their blades, so it was never like an issue, you know, as far as like rusting and whatnot. But 304 has a good reputation, has a good steel. I've never used it, but I'm open to try it, as long as if I can complete the heat cycle, like the heat treatment of it, I'm okay with it. I'd try it. But if I can't do the heat, you know, the proper heat treating here, that's where I get a little bit like, I probably wouldn't want to mess with it, because essentially, if I'm making a custom order knife for somebody who requests a steel like that, their deposit on the knife is paying for that steel. So if they, if they do a deposit, I get the steel and then I screw it up, you know, it's kind of a big waste. You know, it starts to get expensive. But the 10 series steels are good. They're not great for cooking. The chromoly steel, spring steels in the 5160s and stuff like that, they make pretty good, you know, they make pretty good cooking knives and stuff like that, butcher knives, things like that, meat cleavers, mainly because you know, they're you know, assembly stainless. They've got that high chromoly, so they're just rust resistant anyway. Yeah, sorry for talking your head off about it. I love steel. I just love steel, and I can go into like life philosophy based on steels. What's the significance of 304 for you though? I'd like to know. Do you have an idea in mind? I'm working on your sheath right now, Darren. Well, I'm letting it dry so I don't ruin it, but let me show you what I got. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad and you can actually see it. It's been a quite a while since I've worked on a leather sheath or a knife, so I hope you forgive the artwork a little bit. I'll clean it up, but you know, handmade. Cut me some slack. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. I can't wait to finish this. It's gonna be pretty cool. I got some embellishments I'm gonna do along the like the stitch seam. That'll be pretty neat. Just checking on our knife over here, making sure it's sealed up. Nothing's shifted, nothing's cracked, everything's good. Hi, honey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Your chickens are freaking out. I had some given to me and I didn't know anything about it. It's supposed to be food grade, semi-magnetic. What was that the last thing you asked me? I was typing and didn't hear it. Oh, yeah, I was just curious as to the significance, like if you had a project you wanted to work on or something. Let's check out the heat treatment of said steel. Let's see what we can do with it. Where's my browser at in this damn thing? 304. No. Steel. I'm actually looking up the heat treating right now. Let's see what we got. Okay, yep. Oh, got it. Alright, so great news. You can actually harden 304L by working on it. So that is pretty handy.
Do you not want your face showing?
I'm working here, so I was leaving it here.
I know, but you can be nice to see your face for a minute.
Yeah. Hold on. It's a little rough, man, but I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna go in and do some finer work for it. I'm letting this first coat of antiquing dry on it.
What happened?
So I'm holding it here for a minute, so you should be able to see it.
You gotta move it a different way. It's not focusing on it.
Okay. Here, let me move. Oh, okay. I thought we were going to move the camera again. Yeah. It'll, okay, Tony, so when you work on that, if you forge it, it will forge, but you got to get it up to the 1800 degrees. Okay? And then you can work it at 1800 degrees. It will begin an annealing process. As long as you don't sustain that heat, like, you know, I mean, this is kind of silly, but as long as you don't leave it in, say, hot ash or an oven all night, it will harden pretty much as hard as it's going to get on its own. So you can actually get away with heat treating without really having to do much to it. You can heat it up and beat the holy shit out of it, and it'll, you know, you can forge a knife, you can grind it. As you grind, though, the work you're doing on it, like drilling, grinding, things like that, it will start to harden a little on its own. It is a stainless, but it's relatively low carbon stainless, so it's gonna honestly, it'll work good. It'll work good for whatever you want to do. I mean, shit, it work hardens. That's a great thing right there in itself. So, yeah. Right on, man. Yeah, like I said, it's a little rough, but I'm gonna go in and I used your logo as a kind of the inspiration of it, but I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna do some crazy stuff inside of it and around it, you know. But I really dig your logo. It's pretty awesome. Pretty damn cool, man. I got about 5-6 more minutes, and I think the knife is ready to start shaping the handle and doing some hand sanding. So we're going to be moseying over to the grinder here in a few minutes. But, yeah, Tony, it'll make a knife, man. It will cut. But as far as, like, hardening it up and stuff, I don't think you even have to worry about it. I mean, there's a reason why you always see chefs sharpening their knives all the time. There you go. I mean, there's some steels that I've messed with that are, I consider them super steels, but all of them act differently when you apply heat to them. Like one of my favorites is D2 tool steel. Yeah, not bad. D2 tool steel though. It is completely machine steel. You don't forge it. If you heat it up and you hit it with a hammer, it literally shatters. However, if you take a piece of, you know, air hardened D2 and stick it in the ground, you can shoot it with a rifle and it will literally not break. A big enough caliber might go through it, but for the most part, I mean, anything under like a 45 is just it'll dent it and it'll ricochet off somewhere, but it's not gonna go in it. It will cut. So yeah, D2 is awesome. I always joke that, you know, when you work on a knife made out of D2 and you go to close your shop up, you know, and you leave it lay there, it gets up and finishes itself because it's just that badass. D2 is awesome. D2 01 tool steel. That's I think 01 tool steel is like a really good intermediate steel to work with for forging. I don't know why, but I think 01 is just awesome. It's like it hardens and acts almost like 1095, but it's so much more forgiving. It'll harden up just the same, but you could beat the holy hell out of it and heat treat it incorrectly. You could do all kinds of stuff to it, and it still hardens up and it still performs. That's a great steel. 2 tomahawks made from D2. Awesome. Those are D2 is notorious for being super, super tough. It's just super hard steel. The one thing that I know about making knives with D2 that I always found funny is an older knife maker gentleman that I used to talk to a lot. He told me that D2 is the only steel that you can make a knife and you can even put a bad edge on it, like a bad, like bad geometry, and it'll hold that bad edge forever. Continuously throwing against my throwing walls. Yeah, that's odd. Well, I guess that isn't odd. I mean, it's got to be a full tang axe, right? So the whole thing was steel all the way down to the handle. I imagine I wouldn't think that they would do a hidden tang with D2, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's not great at shock. I noticed. You can subject it to like some severe crazy shit, and it'll survive it. And then the silliest little thing might break it. I heated up my first piece of D2. I didn't know what I was doing. I bought it. I spent like $80 on this bar. I was so excited. I heated it up in the forge, put it on the anvil, and hit it one time with a hammer, and it literally shattered. And I was like, and I just stood there, like, just didn't know what I was doing, and that taught me a lesson, basically I had to go and, go back to the drawing board and learn, I had no business messing with D2 yet, but since then, though, I've made several D2 knives, and I made my dad one for his birthday one year. He still has it, he still keeps it. It's a hell of a little knife, little work knife, and he seemed to like it a lot. So pretty cool little knives. I really like W2. That's one thing I'm going to be getting into is I want to order some W2 steel and get back into. I was actually before the whole pandemic bullshit started. I was in the middle of practicing with W2, and I was doing clay hardening. All right, Quebec Homestead, take it easy.
That's Mallory.
Terry Bennett, see you later, Denny. Time for dinner and getting ready for work. All right, man. Take it easy, Terry. Good fishing, man. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I was in the middle of basically practicing with W2, just trying to get the Haman line and clay hardening, and it was awesome. I was knocking them out left and right. I felt like I was really on a roll. I was ready to just change over to nothing but W2 from there forward. Of course, I made some knives years ago, but the steel was already hard. Just ground to shape and sharpen. Right on. Yeah, man. It's honestly a lot of fun, and we plan on we wanted to do a Patreon where I was gonna go into much more detail about this stuff, and it's there. Yeah, I gotta start working on it.
The highest 2 tiers.
So I was gonna be doing basically on those highest 2 tiers. I was just gonna be setting up and doing one-on-one lessons, and hopefully like video calls, like if you were forging, you know what I mean, we could video call, and I could be right there basically cam to cam with you, just working on what you're doing, and trying to help you the best I can. Do what?
I said hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand combat is what we're working on. So I got a handle to work on here. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna have to let this dry. I think my dye has been sitting too long. It's taken a long time to seep in the way it's supposed to. So I'm gonna pause on the sheath and move back to the knife and start working on this handle. I have some pics of my D2 blades and Hawks through PM. Cool. Yeah, man, send them over. I like check it out.
I shared it like crazy on Instagram messages.
Oh, right on. Oh, I gotta put this so it doesn't get all messed up. Alright, let's go back to the grinder. So, we are pretty locked in on this. I'm going to switch to a new belt because I would rather not heat this up any more than I need to. Definitely recommend if you're doing any kind of handle work to always use new belts. I know I used to save my old belts for handles, and found out later that was a big mistake because it heats up your knife and you can melt your epoxy right off of it. So let's shape this handle. Alright, cool. Next step, I'm going to go up a couple grits and try to do some a little bit finer work before I move on to hand sanding. This might not work. Most of the time it does, but I'm jumping quite a bit. I'm jumping from 36 grit up to 320, and usually, see that? You guys didn't even see that. I just burnt the holy shit out of myself. That's how it goes though. Remember what I was telling you earlier about this piece, this D2? It will burn the holy crap out of you, and it did. It got me in the arm. But that's that. See, we're just about there. Next step is hand sanding, where we're going to take and clear up all this roughness and make this thing really stand out. And let me move my chainsaw and I'll get this set up and show you guys how this works. Probably the most tedious job in all of knife making, if I'm being honest, but I mean, it really depends on how you want the knife to represent your work. If you just machine finish, a lot of people do that, and it's fine. I mean, to each their own. But if you really want this thing to look and represent this art, then I mean, necessary evil. Alright, let's see, we got some messages here. been out running errands all day. Now going to go help Tony hang his new airline stuff for the studio. Knife is looking great. I'll check back. Right on, Mandy. The belt grinder was made by AMK Technical. Great company. It's actually a small company. That's pretty much. Last I saw, it was a one-man crew. He builds these by hand, and he built mine to suit me about, I want to say, 8 years ago or so. So yeah, it's been about 8 years. And I've been using it ever since. I've actually been thinking that I probably need to eventually start thinking about getting another grinder, because I know after this many years and this many knives, I have definitely begun to wear this guy out. I mean, everything on it needs a tune-up. All the bearings are loose. I've been through 2 or 3 grinding wheels on it. It's about time to get a new grinder. But we'll see. Yeah, this part is the most tedious part, in my opinion, but I also feel it's necessary. I want the fit and finish to be just really, really nice. It's a very forged knife. It's very rough. It's got a lot of hammer marks and hitting in it. But the geometry's good. The handle's going to be super comfortable. You know, I'm rounding out all the hard edges, so it should feel just great in hand. And I'm blending in scratch marks that are eyesores, in my opinion. I've been told that some people don't see them as I do, but I'm okay with that if they don't see them. But I see them, so it bugs me. So I'm going. This is 220 here, and I'll be doing a 320 after this, and then I have a 600 grit. Hell yeah, Tim! I hope so, man. I think he's gonna dig it. He really liked the. Sorry, I'm reaching past the camera here to get some higher grit sandpaper. He was really happy with the idea of the Red Heart. I really think it just looks good with the forged blade. You know, with that rough pitted look. You know, I just feel like Red Heart just stands out really well with it. Plus, Red Heart's just a real gem to work with. I mean, it's just, God, it's such an easygoing wood that shapes really nicely and it polishes even better. You can hand sand this. If you have the sandpaper to do it, I mean, I'm talking like go and buy the detail sandpaper from like the auto parts store, all the way up to 4,000 grit and so on. You can literally hand sand this to look like glass. Like it will literally polish to like a glass sheen. It is amazing. I love this stuff. We're not going quite that far because I don't have those sandpapers here. I can go up to about 1,000. But we'll see. The way I hand sand is basically erasing scratches as I go, so by the time I would get to 1,000, I might not even be doing anything anymore. But you can, I'm sure you can see it. It's polishing out pretty crazy. Let's move up to 600. For this type of wood too, you don't even have to wet sand, which is nice. You can polish this with any kind of wax. I use the wax to catch the dust and basically stop abrasions from happening, so it just keeps on shining and shining and shining. Like right now, I'm already seeing a really smooth finish happening. So let me grab the 600 grit real quick. And the 600 grit actually has a polishing oil already on it, which is, I want to tell you that that's intentional, but it was not. I spilled it. But you can see it's kind of helping the cause here. I don't know what I did. Oh, I totally got the knife off of the screen here somehow. But yeah, I'm definitely going to add some more cameras. We need some fixed cameras in here. Okay, yeah, I can feel this. This is literally like glass. I mean, it's... There's really not a whole lot I can do to this to smooth it up any further. Let's see how it looks with some oil on it, and then flip it over to the other side. I am using some butcher block wax, if it ever wants to cooperate. This is not wanting to cooperate at all. There we go. Let's use some wax. The wax coating can go on this deal too. It's actually pretty nice coating for prevent rust and such like that. And do I have any 1000 grit? I don't think I do. I got 600. Let's see. Wow, yeah, I actually don't have any 1000 grit here. Holy crap. That is amazing. But I haven't done this in a while, so let's just go over it with the 600 with the wax on it, I guess. It'd be kind of like wet sanding. Alright, 1 second. This isn't going to do a whole lot, but it definitely helps with any kind of pores in the wood. And when I'm done, if you want to check back on the community page of the YouTube, I'll put up a picture of this tomorrow after I clean it and get all of the little, dirt and dust and grime off of it. So what you're probably not able to see with this camera, it just keeps saying it's disconnecting my chat. So if I miss a message, I'm sorry. What you're probably not seeing is that it's actually shining up the pins too, so I'm getting a nice finish on those. Yeah. Hand sanding with butcher block wax. I'm just giving away all my secrets. So, but I can't say that this will work with every type of wood, but definitely works good with Red Heart. Piece of tool steel, make it look like glass. Be careful how you really. Oh, like steel. Are you mean? Did it autocorrect you from steel wool? Because I do have some of that laying here. I could probably use. I think it's been a while. I used to keep steel wool on hand just for this, but let me wipe that off and show you guys. Look at that. That's just one side. There's the other side, not even touched, and then there's that side. So let me wipe this off. Okay, so there's the side not touched yet, and there we are. 600 grit using butcher block wax as a sandpaper lubricant. It's not bad. Not too bad at all. Let's do the other side. Probably do this side, and I think this might be all for tonight. I don't really have anything to forge. I might. I seriously feel like I'm going to try to make Scorpion's spear from Mortal Kombat. I really want to try. But I'm going to have to check it out. Maybe watch the movie again or something and get a good look at that Warlock, you know. So, starting with a 180, just kind of going over everything I did with the grinder. And I'm going to let the Thorhaven Bowie knife sheath dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll be finishing that. I might have to ride up and pick up some rivets. There's a good chance that I'm going to rivet that sheath together instead of sewing it. I actually don't even think I have any leather stitch needles here, so I've got to order some of them too. I've got so much stuff missing. It's going to take me a while just to get back up to fully running again. And then I have a Damascus knife. Oh, I get you. Gotcha. Yeah, I could imagine, man, but man, I personally wouldn't even know where to start with that. I'd love to see it done, though, to be honest. I think it'd be really cool. Go up to 220. Cut the piece here. Wow, no kidding. Okay. Hey, I've literally never done that. That's pretty crazy, though. See, I wonder, you think anybody has videos of it, or I could check it out? I am really interested in that because I've never seen it done, and if it's something I could use doing this, that'd be really cool. And otherwise, I just have hand sanded my way into oblivion. Sounds pretty neat, though. That's definitely probably something I definitely want to see and be taught how it's done. That sounds awesome. I know I've seen guys use a file and draw file a knife. You know, a billet for a knife. I've seen them draw file that to a shine, and I thought that was pretty amazing. But I've never used a file to actually polish. I've always used it to set geometry on really tough billets. I must have paid way more attention to this side because it is smoothing out way easier than the other side did. Wow, yeah, that looks great. Just like no abrasions or rough edges, man. That's awesome. Let's go 600 grit on this. It looks like it's already pretty much ready for it. Surprising. That other side kind of resisted a little bit, but this side's just going. Or maybe the other side was practice for this one. I don't know. Man, look at that! Holy crap! I think too, you can change directions on this and start entire new scratch patterns, and it just erases the scratch pattern underneath of it and just gives you just fantastic finish. Wow, yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and do the wax. I'm not going to use as much this time though. Man, I'm really happy with this, guys. I have to say, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. What a gem. So really satisfying handle to work on here. Look at that. No seams, no gaps. Smooth lines, no hard edges. That is what we want. It's just an old woodworker's trick. I've used it several times over the years. You can use really strong. Oh, okay. Have you ever checked out the like Japanese water stones? That is another polishing technique that I really want to get into eventually. Is actually learning how to polish with those stones. Because those guys, I mean, these guys are really amazing. Okay. Look at that. Coffin handle, kinda. Good taper. Feels good. No sharp edges, except for the one it's going to cut with. It's going to be cool. Pretty happy with this. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely send me a link. If not, I'll take a look too. I'll look around. You know, I hate to say it, but now that I've seen this handle on here, I may actually polish this these bevels further, just to give it a, you know, give it a little bit more uniform. You know, pretty cool. All right, guys. I think that's all for me tonight. I am going to call it an evening. And let me fix this real quick. I definitely appreciate everybody. Oh my god. I just knocked that right over. Holy shit. There we go. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't have as many projects as I'd like to have laying here, so I can't really bounce from one to another for hours on end like I used to been able to. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and kill this stream and take it easy for a little bit. And Thursday night, gonna finish the meat cleaver and give it away. So if you want to get in on that, definitely show up Thursday, and we'll have some fun finishing that one and giving it away at the end of the stream. And otherwise, I'll have some new videos up this week, and we'll keep on going with this adventure. It'll be pretty fun. But hell yeah, man! Thank you for hanging out, man. It was a lot of fun to talk to you. And I have watched those. I've watched several videos myself, so it was it's definitely something I'm interested in. But all right, I will see you guys later. You guys have a good evening.